One, two, one, two, one, two. She nice. What's the word, baby?
Hey, just add it, man. What's good with you?
Man, slow motion. Uh,
I feel that.
oh,
Feel
gonna
that.
do this, man, and then try to get to the gym here a little bit later on, man. What's the word, man? We've been gone for like 2 weeks. What's been good?
I know, man. I'm telling you, working like I'm trying to buy my freedom, man. Straight up.
Real talk.
Hey, that's what it is.
Yeah,
So that's what I've been on.
yeah.
Um,
What's up with the beard, bro? The beard is like,
man, I have not had an opportunity to properly groom myself, man. By the
I
time
thought maybe you was gonna let it grow or something.
nah, if I let it grow too long, man, I ain't gonna be able to get to the airport.
They gonna think you're a Taliban or
Hey, I'm
something.
telling you, watch. If I send you a picture of what I look like with a full grown beard, man, you'd be like, nah, man, you can't move around like that. So no, I'm gonna take care of my grooming. Just man, I ain't had the opportunity before you know it. It's 8 p.m. and then you like, nah, I'm good. I'll get it tomorrow. And then it's 8
Right.
p.m. that night, and you're just like, I ain't about to do that. So I don't know. I'm just walking around, maybe kind of pretending like I'm homeless. Don't nobody bother me.
Exactly. I like that anyway though. Man, I was just talking to this guy. I was cutting his hair, man, and he was saying something about his life was boring. And he was like, "Man, I don't do nothing. I don't got no friends. I don't go nowhere. My life is pretty much boring." I say, "Hey, bro, that's what I do right now, and I love it. I love I love my peace. Like,
Man,
man,
what
straight
exactly is
up."
he trying to do though? Like, what are you looking for out here?
I don't know. I thought you were in a good position. I told him, I said, "Hey, man, don't lose that peace, bro. Leave it. Hey,
Man,
leave stuff the way that it is sometimes, man. Don't lose that peace,
hey,
man."
my life used to be quite exciting, as yours does, and I don't look back on that and be like, let me do that again.
Oh, well, listen, while we saying that, check this out. So I was cutting this dude's hair the other night. So these dudes hit me at like 11 o'clock at night, man. And they wanted to get a cut. And so when the guy gets down here, he said, yeah, man, I gotta use the bathroom. I was like, the bathroom right there. I'm like, I'm thinking he got to piss. He was like, nah, I gotta do something else. And I like put the cape back
Oh
on him. I put the cape back on him. I was like, nah, you
no,
can't do that. You
no,
did what I'm saying.
not
You,
here.
you you ain't finna do that here. But then that's not what he was talking about. Fam was like, I gotta throw up. So he got the garbage can, man, and he literally started, earling. I'm like,
Wow.
hey, bro. Like, I looked at his brother. I was like, what's happening with him? He was like, oh man, he just been drinking. He been mixing his liquors. I looked at him.
Mhm.
I said, I do not miss that shit right there, man. You know what I
No,
mean? I
no.
do not miss that, bro. The
Like I
throwing up,
said, nah. I mean,
yeah. I think I'm too old to be drunk and throwing. You dig
man,
what I'm
that
saying? I'm way
like
too
what?
old for that, bro.
That's why I don't deviate, man. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, beer, maybe some champagne, and trying to scale that out.
You already know what I'm on.
Yeah, I
I
see.
wish I wonder what Loco Los up to. I ain't heard from him, but
Yeah, I ain't talked to him today. I meant to touch base with him, but
yeah, he might have been working or something like that. I was trying to get like some ladies to come in here and maybe give their opinion on interracial dating. But
mm,
before we tap into that, hey man, do you see that dude just did the goofy again?
yes, I did.
And we talked about that. I was just like, you got to be kidding me, man. Golly. How is it that man next year, John Morant, you got an extension for 5 years for 230 million. You got a Nike deal. You got a Powerade deal.
Had
Bro, yeah, well, yeah, had. You 23 years old, bro. You get to feed your generation. You get to feed your kids and their kids and kids for so long. It's like, how can you blow that, bro? And this time it was one of his homies taping it. You know what I mean? They in the cut taping them, and they in the car, and he holding the gun. I'm like, man,
and
you
that's
need to.
crazy. They should be benefiting. They supposed to be there. If they're gonna be his weed carriers, you know what I'm saying? They need to be the ones that are keeping him in line because he feeding the whole family.
Yeah,
And if he ain't there, then what y'all gonna eat off? You know what
I'm
I'm
trying
saying?
to tell you.
So it's crazy. They raggedy as too. That would never happen. I
No,
mean,
hell
how we
no.
used to move, we like,
Yeah,
yo,
no, man. Somebody got to look out. We designated that before we even get there. If this go down, you do this. Debo was the man. Like, listen, we already knew he was the sanest one out of us. So listen, Debo, you know what I mean? We knew how we had to move. And somebody that's got millions like that, nah, we ain't dropping the ball on that one, homie. And
dude,
I
we
don't.
were we were before that. Like, when the cats that were into sports and wanted to participate, we like, nah, man, that ain't your path. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
Ricky
You don't
Davis.
go.
People treated him like that in the gym, dunking on people. We knew. boy, you about to get there. You dig what I
Yeah.
mean? It was like, shh. Mhm.
Hey, at least we had the respectability to try to keep, the athletes on task. Like, yo, ain't no sense in you being out here taking a chance on what you could accomplish out here trying. I mean, we don't have that talent, right? So
Right.
don't squander it. It's just like I was telling Nate, you don't come down the ladder. You know what I'm saying? You got to climb the ladder and let us know what's up there, then you pull us up.
Right.
Man, you ain't got to come meet us where we are because you on a different plane. Now we'll
Yeah.
highlight when you get there, or we'll support you as you go for it. But man, you don't
Yeah.
down here. That's not what you want. And
Please don't come down here because you dig what I'm saying? During that time, Seven Deuce was off the meat rack. Like, man,
man, hey,
listen, sheesh. The guns and the shooting and you know what I mean, grinding all night. Like, boy, please don't come down here.
man, it was a
Straight up.
Uno card deck full of penitentiary, chances, man. It's like, which one you want today? You want
Yes,
5 years? You want 25?
I'm
You
trying to
want
tell you.
forever? Because it's here
Right.
for you. And
I'm
it can
trying to
happen
tell
in
you.
a split second. In a split second, your whole life has
Man,
changed.
for real.
So yeah, and that's what he need. His homeboys, they not supporting the collective, and they definitely ain't looking out for him.
And then I
Otherwise,
felt like if you John Morant, if you need a gun, you know what? You could have got you like two big guys, man, that could been in the car with you like all time. Like them dudes would open up the door for you. Like, listen, anybody come up here, man, open a face up. You dig what I'm saying?
mhm.
Ain't nobody running up on me when I got that type of money. I'm not carrying not a gun in the world. Come on, man. I
And
ain't
if
gotta
you,
carry no gun,
yeah,
fam. I ain't carrying no gun.
and you can't have your homeboys do it either because you're the one with the bread.
Yeah.
So your homeboy pops somebody, they coming at you. Civil
Mm-hmm.
suits, all of that. You take, what I'm saying, the fall for that. I mean, and you got to have your homeboys in that same mindset. Like, yo, we on something different right now. I don't need y'all out here with the rah rah. You ain't got to impress
Right.
nobody. I'm doing the impressing right now, and we'll work our way up to that.
And so, you know something though, for it to happen like back to back like that, it kind of almost just, how we was just talking about our kids though, bro. It's like they don't really get it. You know what I mean? Because I was
No.
just talking to my daughter and I was just trying to explain to her, like, the family reunion getting ready to come up, like, you
Mhm.
know, you can go down there and you can do whatever you want to do. My family, they ain't tripping on all, y'all drinking or y'all smoking a little bit here and there. Only thing we saying, just be mature, man. You dig what I'm saying? We ain't coming back to your grandfather's house throwing up and stuff. And so we had the little spackle like last family reunion. But I'm telling her, man, that's gone. That's done and over with. Come on, let's go. But I try to put her boots on. I'm just like, where's when I'm coming to you, and I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this because I love you. I'm trying to give you something because I'm trying to look out for you. She told me, okay, I don't want to go. Like, like basically, like, okay,
If I
that's how.
can't wild out, I don't want to go.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to go. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, there it is, man.
And I'm like, that's beneficial. You know what? Don't go nowhere embarrassing me. Clowning. And yeah, I mean, mine on the same craziness. Refuse to listen. And I'm like, well, you could do it now or you could do it later. That's up to you. But you're gonna be the one that has to work yourself back up to it now.
Yeah,
So you don't have to listen to me. Cool. I'd advise you to.
I
Um,
tried to save you. You dig what
I
I'm saying?
tried to,
You know what I
and
mean? I try to give it to you.
I tell them all the time, dude. You know how I am about my "I told you so" rights.
Hmm.
I relish that. Like, don't give me a reason to tell you I told you so.
I'm trying to tell you.
And
K
that's
still, what
going,
up, fam?
yeah, what up, poop?
Yeah, but you right
Yeah.
on that one.
So I ain't
And
gonna argue with you no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it anymore.
there it
Uh,
is.
it's out of my hands. I can't police you from 5 hours away, and
Right.
I shouldn't have to at this point. Um, Dude, you ain't no little boy. You got a year left till you 18. So, and they ain't gonna treat you like no kid when you come across the wrong people.
And you know something else though? When I was in the joint, I used to see them like a bunch of David Levi's sons. You dig what I'm saying? I used to have to go down in the dungeon at Anamosa, and I had to cut their hair. And then as soon as they turn 18, cut them loose on the yard with us. And you know what I mean? When you get cut loose on the yard over there with us, boy, it's Anamosa, this Max. So it's
Hmm.
going down. And I hate to say it, but like the little white kids, you dig what I'm saying? 18, y'all the ones that they busting up. You dig what I'm saying? Come and make you feel like you need protection on the yard. Next thing you know, you in that shower yelling. Somebody
Hmm.
then got
Somebody
to
done
you.
got to
Right.
you.
And now you see what I'm saying? All of that slick talk and all of that out there, or either you gonna get on that yard And then that smart mouth, everybody want to fight. Like, let's get it. Like, I want my one, so they gonna whoop you. You dig what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like you got to figure it out, man. But shit,
Get
what's some?
somewhere.
Go ahead. I was about to say, what you got up for today?
Today, shoot, man, I'm wrapping up the evening. I mean, after this, I'm gonna try to put some food down my neck.
Me too.
But
I
that's
know I
that's
should have ate.
about it, man. Wind down for a couple hours, get ready to get back up tomorrow, make the donuts.
Yeah, I should have ate earlier. I hate. I just woke up though, so I woke up and then
Yeah.
shit. I got a few moves to make, but I had took down some commercials, man, because we missed 2 weeks, so I
Hmm.
had some stuff that I wanted us to talk about. I wanted to bring it past you, man, and let you check this out. I'm gonna give you this one guy's video, and then we're gonna go from there. But I want to say it might be two. Let me just see who this is. All right, real quick, check him out.
That I know who date outside their race, outside of our black race, were looked at as lames in the black community.
Yeah.
It wasn't a situation where it's like, okay, now I grew up aspiring to be with a white woman. What the story is typically I grew up, I was in my black neighborhood, I didn't fit in, the women didn't want me, I would shoot my shot and they would curve me over and over and over again. But then when I went to talk to this white girl, she was vibing with me. And we just picked it up and then went from there. So now I date white women now. But it's not a situation where it's like, oh no, I was bred, I was taught since young, and oh no, I want to be the white woman. Black woman, hell no, I'm good. Now when the same dude, that nerd who was lame in the neighborhood, you wasn't given no opportunity. Hell no, I don't want to go on no date. Just get away from me. Da, da, da. The same dude 15 years later is a multimillionaire. And now he's dating a white woman and you looking at him like, oh, it's sold out. Most dudes that I know who date outside their race, outside of our black race,
Let me start off by saying this. For some of you black women here in America, I'm hoping y'all didn't know this, but during World War II, black men dated outside their race. It wasn't just white men that was doing this. It was also black men who were doing it. But my question to y'all is this. Why is it that when a black man dates outside his race, he gets shamed, ridiculed, and bashed around because he's not dating the women from his culture? Why is that? When y'all didn't even want the regular guys who are nice guys, corny, lame, a chance. Y'all wanted the Pookies and Ray Rays. That's who y'all wanted, right? Some of y'all wanted, right? But why come at a black man that's doing better for himself? It doesn't make no sense at all.
Hey, Pook Dog. He said y'all wanted the Pookies. They wanted the Pook Dogs back in the day. Pook, you was thugged out. You dig what I'm saying? You was thugged out. So yeah, but I mean, I gotta tell you this, bro. When I listened to the first guy, the second guy, I think he was on point. He's coming at it um from an aspect of you know he kind of said it in an angry way. Y'all wanted the Pookies and the Ray Rays. I feel him on that. But the first guy, like he said, you dig what I'm saying? When you see a person up on a ladder and he's kind of successful, then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You look at him like, okay, he sold out. What up, yo? I'm about to try to get you up here, y'all. I wanted to send you the link. But speak
Well,
on that from your opinion. What you think?
absolutely, because I can speak intelligently on that. I don't necessarily agree with him to that point. I know, I went to Wilson, right? And I mean, what? There might have been 15 of us in my grade at that time, right? Not even that many. So you limited at that point anyway. It's not so much as who you checking for. So they were feeling it. Like, they're mostly dudes, the black, classmates we had, but everybody else, all the chicks was white. So you weren't looking at it as that aspect. Now I do know we have some people, I have some family included that specifically go out looking for that and have always done that.
Looking for
Uh,
white girls?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So after I got out of elementary, I was like, I didn't want nothing to do with white girls, right? So I went through probably, all that time excluding people. You don't know who it is that you're looking for if you are narrowing yourself down to that. It shouldn't be about that anyway. It should be about who matches. um, your personality, who has the same goals that you do, and all that. And if you also got to ask, okay, like dude said, some black women will come down on you on that, and validate what your opinion is because that's the way it shook out. But who is with somebody to please somebody else, right? So you got to go out and ignore somebody that may be what you need to try to please other people. But it's also acceptable. A lot of black women will jump on um, Facebook and they'll say, "Oh, okay, I decide I'm gonna go get a white man," but that's acceptable.
Right.
Nobody calls them on that.
Right.
And even before, I mean, what I'm saying, before this, I mean, back when we were in the day, we didn't stress out when saw a black woman with a white man. That wasn't our business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's their thing. That works for her. But sometimes, I guess, when it comes to black men, it's like, oh, you've forsaken it. You've lost your blackness because of that. I'm like, I'm still born a black man. I still have the ability to speak on what the struggles are all the way over the culture. So, um, one thing I did notice, so I was in a bunch of groups, and have been, and I changed my profile pic just to see the different um, way
Hey,
that people looked at me.
Yo is so pro black, boy. She damn near like a Black Panther, ain't she? I dated some white men before. It's a no for me. There are some nice looking white men, but to me, my brothers are untouchable. Yeah.
And
Okay.
and ain't nothing wrong with that
Right.
at all. I'm just saying, hey, who is for me, right?
Right.
And I've been all over the spectrum.
Right.
I mean, Native American, actual Indians,
Right.
Hispanic, mixed, black,
Mm-hmm.
white. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to get at the point of when we talk about. I'm not saying all, but even at our age, there are a lot of black women that want who you used to be, and that's not it. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? That's
That
not the move. I am
that
not who I was 25 years ago. And
hey,
if you're not built for the climb, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen.
right.
But you can't come to me and you got like 3, 4 kids with all different last names, which we kind of talked about, and then look like, well, you don't want me. No, I don't, it ain't got nothing to do with you. I mean, I may not be interested in the aesthetics of you. That may be one thing. Maybe I am. But even still, it's about your situation that you have going on. Nobody wants to have time for that. You know,
Hey.
and what trying to
Okay.
do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are you trying to do? What are your plans? And if you can't articulate that, then nobody have time for that. So if you're not on the upward trajectory, then you're kind of making things hard for yourself. But you can't look. And it also, a lot of what we will hear is, oh, they want sisters when they're on their climb, but after they get up there, they get with white women. I would say 80% of the time that's not the case. It's that people outgrew what you wanted to see out of that person, what they wanted to see out of you. And as soon as you outgrow that, then you're looking like, yo, I mean, you dead weight. Just because we vibed at one point does not mean that you can stop growing. And if I'm growing
Exactly.
and you're not growing, then
I can
we ain't
I,
gonna be a cohesive unit at that point. It's just not gonna work.
I can respect that.
You know what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with actual race or anything like that. And ain't
Well,
nobody over here pure no way, unless you got off the boat in the last 25 years. Come on. All of us is tainted. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look at 23 and me, man. I got so many white cousins on there, man.
right.
That go down to that. But I just don't believe in judging anybody for who they're with. You don't know what their relationship goals are, what they're trying to accomplish, how they vibe with the other person. I just ain't that concerned with what nobody else is doing. I
And
don't
I
know.
but you know something? I think it's like different levels to different people thoughts, and you know what I mean. That what you said is cool. In my situation, it's like we grew up in like Indianapolis, and then for a little of my childhood before we moved over to the Iowa side, you dig what I'm saying? A little bit before I moved over to the Iowa side. I mean, we was in Illinois, and so we was in Arsenal Courts. So the only white kids that we knew in Arsenal Courts was White Todd and White Amy. So anybody from the courts, y'all know White Todd and White Amy and his mom. Only white family that was down in the courts. Everybody else was black. So I'm saying that to say, in Indianapolis, like all of our schools, like whether you was out east or something like that, the little schools I was going to, they was dominated by blacks. You dig what I'm saying? This is
Mhm.
hood schools. So then all of a sudden, I come over here. Hey, what's up? CG. She said, "What's up, big bro, Sugar Bear?" And she said, "D nice." It's G nice.
Incorrect.
Yeah. Hey, but listen. So when I came over to Iowa, and then all of a sudden, I started going to Wood Junior High. I remember there was this white girl named Tanya Hunt. Tanya Hunt had a crush on me. Now, that's the first time I ever even thought about
Mhm.
a white girl talking to me. I had never seen them. You did. I mean, I'm not even gonna say I never seen them, but it's like I don't
Not
talk to
nectar.
y'all. We never had conversation. You was never in my
Mm-hmm.
projects. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To the point
Mm-hmm.
where it was really super weird for me. So in junior high, I did not even know how to talk to white girls. You dig what I'm saying? I didn't know what to say to them. You dig what I'm saying? Because I'm so like, from the hood or something like that. And so it was like, but I noticed that there was guys. I had guys who deliberately look for white girls because they was giving them they parents give them
Mm-hmm.
money, they get allowance, and hey boy, they giving it to them. So they was checking the bag at like 13 or 14.
Oh,
I know.
absolutely. I
Hey,
remember cats like that.
Hey, listen,
They were
Sean
getting
May,
it.
my man Sean. Sean used to jump on the bus. That man used to have the latest headphones, the latest CD players, starter coats, Jordans. And I'm talking about this is at like 88, 89, 90. And the white girls was just buying all of that. So in our mind, you dig what I'm saying? Coming from where I'm coming from, I'm like, man, if you get with a white girl, they're gonna spoil you. You dig what I'm saying? And so I used to think of it like that. And then, of course, 88, 89, 90 that was the Fight the Power, X Clan. You dig what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Public Enemy. So
Mhm.
then after a while, it was like, boy, you better not get caught with no white girl. You know what I mean? If you
Mhm.
from the hood, you dig what I'm saying? And so that's how I went. And I think it's like on different levels. Now I'm gonna let you check out these ladies and listen to what they say because one of them, she. I think she's saying it right, and then these other three, I don't know, man.
All
Listen,
right,
let's check them out.
go.
Like black men with white women. Like a lot of successful black men
Mm.
go for white
They
women.
go lighter.
But the question is, why do you think that is? Like,
Oh,
Why
white
guys-
women, they cater like better, like they're more submissive than black women. Black women, they
That's-
talk
you didn't
back.
have to say
That's
that,
one
like-
thing. Like black
It's
women,
not
we
even about
talk
the sugar
back. We talk back. Like we don't listen. We're not as submissive as
Yeah.
a white woman. Like
And
Men
they're
want
expressing it
peace.
in a-
There's a
I
stigma
said it.
of black women being like more masculine than other groups of women, not physically, but obviously how
where
you
they
act.
wear the pants. They feel like they wear
Yeah,
the pants.
because it's that y'all got that combative
But that
nature.
also
like,
comes into how we're raised.
that's cool, but a guy that made it,
A
a guy
white
that's successful,
person-
a guy that made
white
it and
people
came out the
raised
hood,
differently.
he not trying to argue with or have a shorty be combative with him all the time. Like
It's
maybe
not an
he wants
argument,
somebody
though.
submissive, somebody more friendly, feminine, fit.
You see more like black men with white women. Like a lot of successful black men
Mm.
go for white women.
They go lighter.
But the question is, why do you think that is? Like,
Us that we were undesirable when the fact is you're the one that's undesirable and you only have a certain amount of options and we figured it out. This is for the black men that are harassing and threatening me because they found out I have a half white son. First of all, it's not that you're black that I didn't date you. It's that most of you speak to women like you're standing on a prison yard, and I don't find that attractive. Secondly, no one complains when black men date outside of their race and give their wealth to women outside of their race. But you have a problem when you see a black woman that has dated outside of their race. Is it because you're trying to convince us that we were undesirable when the fact is you're the one that's undesirable and you only have a certain amount of options and we figured it out? This is for the black men.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, I think all the three girls, you know what I mean, they're crazy. I had this other little chick, and I didn't get her on there. I must have sent the wrong one. But so she was saying this right here. She was saying she went to a Walmart, and so she said she was in line, and she said a black guy looked at her, and so she's like, I'm from the South, so I speak to people. She's like, he looked at me, so I said, hey, how you doing? And he turned away and didn't even acknowledge her because he was with a white woman. And so she was saying she don't really care who you date She was just like, but you don't have to treat me or try to play me like, you know what I mean, like I'm something, or like I'm after you or I'm hounding you because you with this white woman. Now, there was a couple of points that was made in those two segments that I was thinking like, okay, number one, when the guy was like, okay, we get a little bit of money or either we make it, it's kind of like on the lines of what you were saying. Don't nobody want to hear all of that all the time. And
Mm.
it's not, and it's good, but no, it's not necessarily like mouth. I like a strong woman. I like a strong
Oh,
woman that
absolutely.
can speak up. You dig what I'm saying? And stand her grounds. I don't want no weak woman. You dig what I'm saying? Because we got to balance each other out. So it could be on the lines of the level like you got to know how to carry yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with having, what I mean, some strength and you being a strong black woman. But if you out in public and you trying to act like you still in the hood, or we trying to go corporate, or we trying to close a business deal, and you ain't got it together, you know what I mean, with your conversation. If you can't hit the light switch to business and professional, you dig what I'm saying? Then yeah, that right there ain't gonna work for me. But then, shorty, you trying to say it as if, you know what I mean? You put everybody in a box. You try to make it seem like all black men, we out here losing and we don't know how to get good jobs, or like we ain't trying to do this and that. And so we just figured it out. So now we started dating white men. It's like, man, if you don't get your
Yeah. Well, to speak on the first ones,
the girls,
first
the three
off,
girls.
yeah,
Okay.
first off, you hear a lot of people talk about submissiveness, right? I've never really gotten a vibe on that because we supposed to be a team, right? And I have the same expectations from you that you should have from me. Let's get it. I don't need to run you. I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. If I got to do
Yeah.
that, I don't have time for that.
Me
I'm
neither.
I'm not on that.
I ain't never
So
been that into
yeah,
that.
so
Like,
what she's
yeah.
speaking of, but if we gonna get into that the way she was speaking on it, I'm looking at her and I would like confirmation that she don't have any weave. Or that she
What?
got
Hold on.
or no, no, Imma stay with that. The reason why I'm saying that is one way or the other, her hair is straight. Why is her hair straight? Why is her hair straight?
Are you saying she's trying to be like a white woman?
That's what I'm saying. There's no reason for us to straighten our hair.
I
And
don't
if you
think so.
do, but if you don't think so?
No.
You think I'm incorrect?
I think that they tried to put that stigma like out, even when what's the name was doing the perms and all of the different things. You dig what I'm saying? But I know that there were different, what I mean, hair textures in African people. All
Of
hair wasn't
course.
just nappy. You dig what I'm
No.
saying? Right.
No,
You
and
dig what I'm saying?
I
Or it
don't even
just, or
believe
it has to
nappy
be
is I don't even
yeah.
believe nappy is a
I'm
proper
just saying, of
term.
course. I'm just saying you can
Yeah,
say
I
coarse.
don't
Let's go
agree
to
with that.
coarse. Say a coarse texture. You dig what I'm saying? Hot combs and everything was in Egypt. So I mean, there was a whole lot of different
Mhm,
things that they was
sure.
doing back then. So they could have straightened it out. And so I don't think necessarily that when a black person straighten out her hair that she's necessarily trying to be white. I
Well
don't think
well,
so.
okay, but we can also apply it to the men. What did Malcolm X say, about why he was getting conks, right?
Talking about the perms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said he was trying to, at that point, had a hair that looked like what I'm saying, a white man. It doesn't just apply to women, it applied to men, but that was a certain time when that was what was desirable. I mean, if you look at all the magazines and things that we were seeing, it was completely geared. We didn't see ourselves in much unless you were looking at like Ebony and Jet. But when you in the grocery store and you walk into that checkout line, there wasn't much representation for us, on that. So society will gear you towards that. And I'm not saying that that is something to completely, drop on them. I'm just saying they need to, the three at the beginning or the one that was just talking, the other two didn't really say anything, so I can't put anything on them. But that was part of the issue that I had with her. Again, the part where she was talking about the submissiveness. What's crazy is I don't ever, but you'll see black women will comment all day long on Facebook talking about uh, looking for a man that they could be submissive to. And I guess that may work for some people. That's cool. That ain't my thing. I don't have time for that. I ain't with it. I don't need a yes person. Because if you tell me yes all the time, that means I'm not growing. You can't help me grow.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
like that either.
you
But
telling me that I'm good where I am right now, and I ain't ever good where I am. There's
yeah,
always another step.
I think if a woman, if I hear her on Facebook and she's saying she want to be submissive, I have to figure out, okay, where is she talking about it from? I mean, is she coming from the Bible? Because that's a whole different type of submissiveness. You know what I mean? In the Bible, they're talking about, okay, as a team, as a there's a such thing as a covering that a man has to do for a woman, and then there's a certain role that a woman has to play of saying that, okay, my man, my king is the leader of this household. So being submissive to him is saying that I know that God is speaking through him, and then her job is to take what he gets and she multiplies it. So it's still, like you said, it's a team thing. But you dig what I'm saying? She's understanding that, okay, my king is the leader. You dig what I'm saying? My husband is the leader role, and so I'm submissive to him, understanding that he is my protector and provider. And it's a lot deep. That could be in like a Bible study. I know for a fact that the black girls that was talking about submissive on the other way, they are basically saying it as white women being ran over, because CG just said the same thing.
Yeah,
She says,
just
I've
said.
also thought of that. She says, I've thought that too. Why I've seen a lot of black men go for the white woman is because they are easily to be ran over. I saw that growing up, but just never understood why they chose them. Nothing wrong with it, but myths need to be put to rest and shed some light on. Okay. I like that. Tracy said, submissive to husband does not mean yes woman. Yep. Okay. I think we on the same level, Tracy. We talking. I think because she's coming from a biblical standpoint. But oh, girl in them, they was basically saying they want to be ran over. Now, I will tell you this. Some of my guys that talk to the white girls, they ran over them though. You dig what I'm saying? They treated them like they was crap.
Of course.
I feel you. You know what I mean? If you get with any woman, she's got to be my partner. You dig what I'm saying? And I don't need you to be no yes man, yes sir type of woman, because if I'm off my square, I expect you to come and call me on it. Because I'm gonna call you on yours, but you got to be able to. I need a strong woman too that could be like, listen, babe, that ain't the right move. That ain't what we doing right now. You dig what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
we got to have that. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't understand that where they saying, yeah, because they want to pick them. But I will tell you this: I knew guys who went after girls for that.
Oh, I do too. I do too, but I don't think it's something that everybody can be lumped into. And I think a lot of it is done off of, man, I've had chicks come at me I've never met a day in my life talking crazy to me and trying to invalidate.
Hold on, or black?
Yeah, the talking crazy like, oh, okay, well, your opinion don't count. And I'm like, what? I mean, okay. So that's why I changed my profile pic to do a test. Jump
Hmm.
back in the group, everything's spicy. Anything I say was respected as coming from a black man. So I'm like, how does that change your perception of me without you even knowing who I am?
And so
Like,
why
I don't.
did they say your opinion didn't matter? What was that about?
Oh, it was. There was an actual black entrepreneur group that I had
Yeah.
been in, and yeah, so they got on some, social issues and things like that. And we were all going back and commenting, and these chicks start, going wild just based on, okay, my profile pic. So now anything I say is invalidated because of that. So I wanted to see if I change it and go back in there, would it be the same perception? It was not. So that brings me to what upsets some women so much about that. Why do you feel like you don't know this person? So the person wouldn't want to be with you. So why do you feel that somebody has to find somebody that you approve of and I don't even know you? Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That, and even if I did know you, I had a person that I do know that I grew up, went to high school with, and started talking that craziness to me. And I'm like, well, why are you concerned? I never wanted you at all. Like, it don't change nothing. It doesn't matter. You would not be on the list. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So what you mad about? You ain't in the running. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you should be solid with that.
Right.
But there is a lot of that. And you know, the second chick, what she was talking about is, first off, she was jumping all on both sides of the fence, not making any sense at all. And for her to come out and be like, and dudes coming at me because, my son is half white. Okay. That's cool. Nobody's really, the only reason why somebody said something to her is the way that she was coming at men about the opposite. And they were just trying to showcase her hypocrisy. That's it. but
Right.
it definitely hit a nerve for her, to get all salty. But she didn't have to start the conversation in the first place.
Right, but you know what? I seen like so many videos and I couldn't get them all. Now, I even had some videos and I should have took one of them where there was a white girl that said, the white lady, not girl, she said that she date black men because she wanted her kids to have the melanin in their skin.
That's a problem as well.
You dig what I'm saying? She says
Yeah,
because she hate the sunburns and she hate, so she wanted, and she says
that's
that
crazy.
mixed kids are beautiful, and so she wanted that. Now, I know some black girls who have said that they wanted to have a baby by a white man so that their baby could be pretty, so their baby can have good hair.
Good hair, which is a fucked up term in the first
Ladies,
place.
tap in on that one. See, that's why I'm saying we need women because we got
Hmm.
y'all got to be able to speak up for this because that right there is some BS. You dig what I'm saying? Right, CG. You said
It
whoa,
is. It's
like
whoa.
that's crazy.
But I've
Now,
heard it too. I've heard the
right.
same thing you just spoke on.
Yeah. And so, you get the typical stereotypes of saying, all right, well, uh, like say for instance, NBA players, NFL players, some of them are dating, a lot of them date white women or they might date outside the race. And you know what I mean? The first thing that the white woman is saying is like, okay, they want to date the black man because of the sex. You dig what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So it is what you say, cuz Denise says ignorance is what that is. You're right. You're right. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna put that one up there. Ignorance is what that is.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And so on the first set of girls, the first three, um, I just think that and I love my people. You dig what I'm saying? But I think that was some type of wretched type of talk. Like, get out of here with that. You dig what I'm saying? You want to talk to her because she's more submissive. Now, if that's the guy's mentality, he weak anyway. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because if you feel like you got to get with a woman so you can lord it over a woman, then you got insecurity issues, fam. You ain't come
Uh,
on, man.
he just
I'm
looking
telling
for
you.
a PS5.
Exactly, straight up. And that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna sit in the crib and you're gonna be on the couch playing video
You're
games
gonna
and
drive her car. You're
hey,
gonna drop her off at work. You're gonna
yeah,
pick
boy.
her up later on.
And she gonna give you
Um,
your beer money. She gonna give you your little drink and your weed money, and you're gonna
yep.
be straight. And that's how
Hmm.
life is gonna go. I
Hmm.
don't. That's not growth. You
But
dig
you
what
know
I'm saying?
what? But you know what? I saw an equal amount of black women doing that. I've been
Okay, give me an
like,
example.
well, man, I've been in health IT forever, so there were a bunch of practices that I dealt with in the quad, and we used to laugh about it, like watching this line to pick up all these like MAs, and it's nothing but dudes in their cars, in the women's cars, coming to pick them up from work. And guess who it was? It was all us.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all putting bad rep on us by operating that way.
And so I guess that's what the,
But
the the last one was talking about.
but
Like,
weren't all white women though.
right,
There was a plenty of black women in it. So I think
baby
that's
boy, the movie.
right. That's
Man,
equal
it can happen.
opportunity. That's equal opportunity failing.
Yeah.
It's just not limited to that. That's a mindset. And if you aren't sure who you are within yourself, you will always find somebody that you can feel like you can lord over, right? You hold the
Right.
keys to it. You got your Section 8. You are the one that goes to work. It's your car and all that. And you can control him with a pair of Jordans and, a PS5 and keeping his ass in beer and weed and probably whiskey. And his homeboy is just sitting up in your living room and doing
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
that's across the board. I don't think you could put that on any group of men. There
Right.
are there are
No, real
there
talk.
are
Because
shitty dudes on any spectrum.
hey, because real talk. Like when I came back from NAP in '94, you know what I mean, and me and Venice got back together. She always kept a little car ever since we was in high school. So she had a little whip. And so what? I used to drop Venice off and then be on the block. You didn't say, remember
Hmm.
plenty of times she done came and picked us up and took us to the block. When we get
Hmm.
drunk, that's who used to come pick us up.
Yep.
But soon as I get on my feet, you know what I mean? We going. You dig what I'm saying? When you give me this boost, if you give me a boost, I'm taking us to the next level. You dig what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I ain't never been like that. Like I don't understand that for nothing in my life that okay, that's damn near like a kid getting allowance. Like I'm waiting on you to get your check because that's how
Mhm.
I'm gonna get my drink for the day. I'm gonna get my weed for the day. Or I'm waiting on you to get your income taxes so we can shine. It's like, come on, if you find a dude like that, any race, I don't care who you are, you need to run away from him. You need to get so far away
Absolutely.
from him, straight up.
And then some of it is um, being able to relate, and that's not even a race thing. I'm talking about outside of what we consider to be just our cultural things. Like, yo, let's talk history. Let's be able to do this. I don't want to watch Medea. That's not interesting to me. This whole slapstick uh thing where it's just surface level funny, right? Ooh, I mean, it's like somebody falling over a chair. Great, you get all these laughs, but there's nothing. There's no depth to it. There's
So
nothing.
you talking about the Tyler Perry's movies?
Yeah, he knows who he's pandering to. He knows exactly who he's pandering to.
You said to the
Man,
women?
that's some clown shit, man. I mean, it's one step up from a minstrel show. And doing that, but what I've learned, I'm like, okay, there's been a large portion of the people who are all in on that I step back and I look at what is this person doing,
Mhm.
and they don't have a lot of drive or anything. They just show up. First off, I don't I have a question for somebody who goes out and buys the same thing 3 times. That's crazy. And that's how he got to be where he is. So let me get this straight. You're gonna go to the play. You're gonna buy the DVD of the play. He gonna make a movie about the play. And it's actually 4 times. So you're gonna go see the movie and then you're gonna buy the DVD of the play of the movie. That's crazy. It's the same shit. You know what I'm
I
saying? So you've
I gotta
invested.
I gotta disagree with you on that. I
All
think,
right, go
yeah,
ahead.
you know what? Uh, number one, I like his story. You know what I mean? Sleeping in
Oh,
the car. Yeah.
absolutely. I have nothing but respect for that.
The grind theory. And not only that, but I mean, if the white man can put crack in the neighborhood and then turn around and get rich off of that while locking us up, you dig what I'm saying? I definitely want to see a black man, I don't care what you're
Oh,
selling, legally come up. Cause now the man is a
sure.
billionaire. And look how many people he give jobs to and how many people that he feeding. And
I
so
take nothing away from
yeah,
him for
yeah,
what he's doing.
right. Yeah. So I
He
took my
knows his
hat.
market though.
Yeah, and that sometimes that's business. It's like you did what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
It is.
Man, nobody says anything to Michael Jordan because he's selling the best shoes. I mean, he's selling his shoes is the best selling tennis shoe of all time, and he don't give a damn thing to black people. You dig what I'm saying? And so it's like I love Tyler Perry, especially for him to build a black Hollywood in the ATL and give people jobs. I just take my hat off to him. I want to read out there Bruce stuff real quick. She says something that's really dope. She says we live in a society where many have jumped on the stereotype bandwagon, where they judge people based on stereotypes that are just
Just
that stereotypes.
yeah.
All black men are bums. All white men got money. Black men don't take care of their kids. All stereotypes are ignorant to the highest level of ignorance. I've dated a black and white, simply prefer, and that's that. I date not because of skin, but because of how you treat me, period. Okay. People talk bad about the kind they actually attract. Now, I think that there's a level of truth to that one. Because I have also heard that sometimes black women date white men because they feel like they can control them.
That and for what they perceive to be financial security.
Yep, because they got a
Um,
bank account.
yeah, well,
Okay,
they
Denise
got
said a level of control. Okay.
yeah. And of course, yeah, I mean that I agree with that completely as well. So then you're talking about black men and some like women that are looking to control somebody. Now that's a certain mind state that somebody would have. I think that has nothing to do with um, so much as ethnicity, because I mean, you can find some white girls that are shit. I'll get out there and scrap with you if
Right.
need be. They'll meet you on that level. Not all, but some will. Um, but yeah, I just think the whole idea of this trying to be in somebody else's mix because of who they with, I mean, that's like somebody coming over and telling you, they don't like the color you painted your walls. Change them
Right.
because I don't like them. And if you paint it this way, I like your walls. And it's like you don't live here. You don't have to
Right.
look at the walls every day. This ain't yours. This ain't for you to say. And it's a lot of weird ass perceptions, but I think a lot of it when you get some of that bitterness that you saw in some of those videos, I mean, that's an internal issue, right?
Right.
It's not about somebody else feeling like you ain't worthy. For some reason, you feel like you're not worthy.
Right.
So that's something for you to sit back and think about. That's something to talk to Dr. McNeil about.
Now let me ask you this: Have you ever been because I know we done it before. You dig what I'm saying? And it's just this is
Mhm.
some black people stuff, right? Have you ever seen a white boy with a excuse me, I ain't gonna say white boy, a white man, but we was kids during the time this happened because this was back in some of our foolish days. He be with a black chick and she got a nice body or a nice butt, and the first thing be like, dang, look at her. She's oh man, she want to give it to a white dude. All of that, you dig what I'm saying? And then you start thinking like, yeah, man, he can't handle it. You know what I mean? Like little stupid
Well,
stuff like that.
that was even, I mean, so during that time, like when we were on it, like I said, high school, I wanted junior high, high school, man. I wouldn't have nothing to do with white chicks, at all. But that was
I didn't
a
know how to
carry.
talk to him.
Well, that was a carryover from, elementary. I'm like, fuck y'all. I don't want nothing to do with y'all. You know what I'm saying? At all. But as you get older, you realize how much did you miss out? You might have walked. People talk about their soulmates. How about you walk past your soulmate, but you ignored it just because they didn't meet a certain criteria
Right,
of what you would deem to be acceptable.
right,
So you end up sacrificing what you want for yourself to try to please somebody else, and that's ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, all these chicks that are all over it, if you get with a black woman, they go away, they quiet, they are pleased with who you're with, and why do I owe you something?
right.
I don't. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you this, and
Mhm,
because I'm gonna tell you something. I got people that's from Mississippi.
mhm,
And so,
mhm.
Bernice has no filter. You dig what I'm saying? Bernice gonna say what's on her mind. So Bernice always feels like this. You could go out there and date them because she from West Point, Mississippi. She be like, you can go out there and date them if you want to. That's up to you. But as soon as they get mad, they gonna call you a nigger. You dig what I'm saying? Now, ladies, I I see Katie is on deck. Katie, we good. We tap in on the podcast. You always responding, and she's cool people. I want to hear this from my black ladies. Or do you feel that there's still some type of racism inside of a white woman? Because sometimes they always say this right here. No matter what, as soon as you get her mad, she's gonna call you a nigger or she's gonna call the police on you. Is that a stereotype?
Well, while they comment on it, I will address that too. I've never had that problem. That was something that was established early on. Like, hey, like, look, if
Hold
if
on.
that
How did you establish that? How was
I
that established?
I established it early on, and I said, you know what? Hey, this ain't it. I don't care how mad you are. If you do this, I'm telling you, I'll scalp you so fast it won't even know how to bleed. It won't even know to bleed. You used to be Lou Gossett Jr. out here fucking around with me on that shit, and that's never been a problem. And it ain't like shit. I mean, we fall out. It's never got to that point because that would be it.
Right.
But I don't use nigga around here because I don't want to set that precedence, and I think that's a lot of what you see uh, a lot of black people do give that pass to them, so then they get comfortable. And see, you give a pass to one, they gonna feel like it's okay to others. So I don't even do that at
Okay,
all.
so now check this out. Althea said, "I've never had a white individual call me the N word." And you know, some sis, I think that might be kind of prevalent in Iowa. You dig what I'm saying? Because I think in Iowa, a lot of white and black people grew up together. You know what I mean? For like a long time. You know what I mean? But but in the jail system, in the prison system, the criminal system, it's offset and it's racist as hell down here. Now, Yolanda said a lot of people who date outside of their race um we'll use that or deal with our blacks, we'll use the word. You dig what I'm saying? And so and
That's because
there
we
was
ain't given the pass.
what and then I'm saying, but what about the second part though? Do you think like, okay, and I feel like this: if a man put his hands on any woman, she should call the police. But there have been times where a white person can lie on a black person. Say if they dealing in a relationship, a white man with a black man, if she gets mad at him, she can lie on him and she can get him locked up.
So can a black woman.
But you know what? The police are going to be more apt to believe the white woman than they are the black woman. If you get two women dealing with a black man, a black woman calls the police on a black man, they might come out here. Matter of fact, Christina was saying it where the police might say, if we have to come back out here again, you going to jail. But if a white woman called the police, you going to jail, boy. I'm telling you
Well,
that now.
you also have to look at where you are now. If you in the hood, some shit, yeah, the police gonna typically be like, come back. But if you look at like a lot of dudes who have been in this, you're in a different environment. Yeah, if I get the police called on me, I'm probably gonna go to jail where I am right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna go to jail, where it is, but it would be the same thing if I was with a black woman in this area. The
Uh,
police don't have nothing else to do, and if they salty, they gonna be out here and they'll carry your ass to jail. But I think a lot of that has to do with establishing boundaries. You know, you ain't gonna take no crazy talk from nobody. Like, what if somebody? I mean, the hell, it'd be no different than if a black chick call your mama a bitch. What's gonna happen? You
okay.
know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some of the same situations. It's all disrespectful.
Right.
And they'll pull it. But if you establish, this is what it's gonna be. So, if you pull this, then that's your ass. And at that point, I don't care. I'll go sit down for the night for you to understand that we ain't playing around here on that. And you just
Right.
go on back there and you try to fix that raccoon. And I ain't never even with it, but I'm telling you, I'm not with on hitting no woman, but there's some shit where you got, no, we ain't doing that.
Right.
You're not gonna stand in my face and talk crazy to me like that. We can argue, you can yell, you can cuss at me, all that shit. You could do that, but yo, that's a line that you don't cross.
Hey, so
That's
yo
like
said,
somebody pushing your child down. You know what I'm saying in front of you. Like what? Like you done did what? You know what I'm saying? You push my baby down. Like oh no, that's your ass.
right.
But yeah, what
Yo
yo
said,
said.
I have been called the N word before many times, and a lot of you have been called it. Well, maybe not to your face, but it has happened. And so
Oh,
yeah, I think you're right, yo. You dig what I'm saying? And I
oh,
think
she
that's what
is.
I was getting at to the
Mhm.
point where you dig what I'm saying. Now, when you get down to it, sometimes it could be like that. I don't want to see what Katie said because I want to, if I can get the whole thing up there, I'm gonna read it, Katie. She says, as a white woman, the N word has never come out of my mouth or called the police. I have a beautiful, beautiful mixed babies and have never been with my own race. Now, and I've seen white women commenting or saying the N word with the but they got the pass, and I can't understand what the rest of it is because it was too long. Let me take it
I
off.
don't know why, because it really bothers her, so she doesn't know why they say it.
Hmm.
Well, and that they say it because they've been given a pass, and so
Hmm.
that's the
But but
difference.
but
We
hold
all
on,
know.
not so much as a pass though, G. It's do you think like in their house though? Because okay, so now we dealing like say our kids now, if they got racism in them, somebody had to really like teach it to them. But I'm talking about, we in our 40s. So a lot of the times I can imagine that anybody that's in our age or maybe in the 50s or 60s, somewhere in their family, they done heard the N-word from somebody. You dig
Oh,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Yeah, if it ain't nothing but from a grandparent, being over there, oh, you don't mess with those, you know what I mean? And so and my mom always kind of like made us aware of that. Now, I also understand that, she grew up in West Point, Mississippi. You know what I mean? She was 30 minutes down from where Emmett Till had his little situation go
Mhm.
down. And so they dealt with racism one-on-one. And so if you come up as a little kid and you seeing it and you being called that word, it would be hard for you to let that go. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But I will tell you this. The lady, Mary L. Cohen, in the University of Iowa. And a lot of the choir members that I met inside the prison, man, these people have treated me, you know what I mean, better than, you know what I mean, I could say anybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like these are white people. And I'm talking about every time I come to Iowa City or I do anything for her, they roll out the red carpet for me. So I don't think that all white people are bad. I think there's some good. So, Katie, to respond to your statement that you have never used the word, you know what I mean? That's appreciative. And I'm saying it's like that. But the only reason why I brung it up is because my brother was dealing with a white girl, you know what I mean? And she was cheating on him. He kicked in the door because another dude was over at the house, and I think he jumped on the dude. But by the time she got done talking to the police, man, he got a home evasion, he got kidnapping, then he got raped. They threw the rape in there just because, you know what I mean? That's just another way to shame you. But at the end of the day, this was his girlfriend. You dig what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
it can be like that. So I'm just saying, like, you dig what I'm
Well,
saying? If the police come, it can get ugly.
it can always be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it also has to deal with what level, and like you said, that a lot of them have, a lot of people, white people, have shown you a ton of love
Mm-hmm.
on that. I mean, I can speak from a professional standpoint that I've had equal um, opportunity and assistance from across the spectrum. I
Mm-hmm.
got black homies that are in the industry. I got white male homies, white female homies, black women, Dominican women, Hispanic women that are all in this space of where it is. So everybody is in a position to help where they are, and just like I
Mm-hmm.
would do for them. So it's
Exactly.
not look like that. I hate the concept when people say they don't see color, because that's ridiculous. Everybody sees color. What you shouldn't be looking at it is that there's a difference. It shouldn't be, you should not be succumb to your um, unconscious bias, right? And
Right.
we know it's there. I mean, it's kind of like, hey, somebody tell you outside, I saw somebody get bit by a lion. Well, you see that lion, you're gonna be scared of lions. But it's the point of getting to know people and understanding that that's not the case. Now, I know we are not necessarily great at that, of disclosing information, and nor will I ever change that. I don't like people coming up that I don't know asking me questions about my personal life.
Right.
Like, what, you the police? Don't do that. But that's how
Yeah.
they communicate. So I have an actual book called Tacit Racism that addresses that. Like, one of the chapters says, black people are rude and white people are nosy, right? And it addresses that. A lot of white people have been raised to feel like you're supposed to ask people things about themselves. That's a way of
Right.
getting to know them. Well, with black people, and it discusses, it's like, if you were to get some black people out for, say, like a cookout, right? And there are people there that don't know each other. You might be standing next to somebody that you don't know. And they said black people talk about what's exactly present right now when they're dealing with people they don't know. You
Right.
might start talking about the weather, you might start talking about, the food and all that, but nobody gets into personal information until you feel comfortable with that person.
Right.
And that was a conversation we had, because that was initially an issue. I'm like, I don't want to know more about somebody than I have to. I don't want to know that. Don't ask me about my personal information. I'm not going to ask you about mine. So that's why
Right.
they perceive us to be rude, and we like, yo, y'all know is nosy as hell.
Right.
Like, I don't know you from shit. Why you asking me about how many kids I have or where
Yeah.
I live? But they
Right.
use that. They've been trained to use that as a way to figure out how to peg you
Right.
by social status, financial status, and all that. You can gain so much information just by learning where somebody lives. You get an idea of what their income range is. You're not up in this level if you're living in the hood. You're just not.
Yeah.
And so they have this need to be able to figure out how to deal with you. Whereas we don't care.
Right.
We don't care about your person. We don't care how many kids you have. We don't care where you live, what you do for a living, unless you want to offer that information. So after you sit out there for long and you talk a little bit about what's going on, and it may slide, once you feel comfortable with a person, you'll offer some information. They'll offer some information, and you do that. But nobody wants to be interrogated on our end. We don't do
Uh,
well with that. But they
no.
love it. They
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Only time I seen that is in a joint, and you know why. People want to know
Mhm.
where you at and how you sleep because there's politics in there. But you
Right.
definitely right on that. Like as black people, you know what I mean? I mean, I even come from a house where you go spend a night, boy, and don't be over there telling people our business. Don't be telling people what's going on in this house. You
Absolutely.
dig what I'm saying? That's a rule and that's a motto. You know, hey, what we do over here, you don't go share that information with
And
people.
that goes for family too.
Yeah, yeah, straight up. And
Like, you
so
don't tell nobody what goes on in our house.
uh-huh. Don't be going over there telling them this and
Mm-mm,
telling
telling
them
my
that.
business.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's how it is. And I think that's a different thing. I want to agree with something that CG said. She said, I'm just tired of racism, period. And you know
Oh,
something, me too, CG, because
I
at
think
the end of the
everybody is.
day, we all bleed the same color and to me, you know what I mean? I'm going spiritual. I just said we all got a spirit inside of us. And so in this country, it's hard to say I don't see color, I don't see that because sometimes, and I ain't gonna say sometimes, it's just depending on, you know what I mean, like when you go to court, you know what I mean, you could see like the difference in between, you know what I mean,
Oh, of course.
the criminal system. And but then again, you do got some judges that's just fair. You dig what I'm saying? There's always somebody that's doing something that's got a good heart that do something good. You dig like I'm saying, even if we go back to the Underground Railroad, there was those was white people houses that they were staying at. You dig what I'm saying? Black people
Yeah.
didn't own them houses. Now
No.
black people was running the underground, but y'all had to stay at some white people's house. So it just lets you know that all it ain't all white people ain't bad. You dig what I'm saying? It's just
Well,
you got some of them that's just, stuck in their ways
I
and that this
mean,
is what they do.
honestly, even if you look at it from, your biblical standpoint, or if you look at it from my point of evolution, it's all incest. Either way, we all cousins.
Everybody.
I mean, seriously, when you
Been
think
been
it's
tampered with.
Lucy,
Been
yeah,
tampered with.
we all there. I
From the
mean,
slave masters raping the
well,
women
I'm
to
not
you
even
dig what I'm saying?
talking about that. If you from your end, you would talk about Adam and Eve. Okay,
Right.
those are two people. If we talking about Lucy from the evolutionary standpoint, we all come from the same person. So it's just all incest. We're just all chopping on our distant cousins. But and the only
That
reason why
that's a bad way to say it, bro. Like we all just chopping on our distance cousins. It's like, so you smashing your cousin. You smashing
Absolutely,
your
everybody is
1001
smashing their
cousin.
cousin. Yeah, I mean, if you go down the
Man.
line long enough, we all related. If they dig
Right.
that much deeper into it. But I mean, if people start looking at it like that, there are cultural things that separate us more than color.
Right. I want to read this what she say. Then I want to ask you this question. She said racism is here to stay, unfortunately. I don't understand how people don't realize people that are and have been oppressed do not control racism or its systematic results that have wreaked havoc on our communities. Benita, I think you're right on that. But let
I
me
agree.
ask you this though, and that's why I be wanting y'all to come on here though. You dig what I'm saying and talk because listen to this. If
They
you think
scared.
about it though, but listen to this. We done already had Obama in the office now. So by him doing a two term, 8 years, you really think about our kids now. We really got an opportunity to dead it. You dig what I'm saying with them? You dig what I'm saying? Because if they coming up now and you seeing these mixed kids, white kids, black, man, the schools and the classrooms are so sprinkled with different, ethnicities that we can stop it. You dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? And so, okay, what she say? Okay, moving from
It's a
Deport
different.
to the ATL, racism is a different animal. The South is real and in your face. I understand that because
I've
and
I've always respected that. I mean, I respect the South more than I do in the North. At least you know what you're dealing with down there, right? It's out there. They're gonna be honest about it. And up here, you get more of the economic aspect of it, right?
yeah,
I mean,
the
they'll smile
criminology
at you.
system,
Well,
jobs.
no,
Okay,
I mean
yeah,
jobs. Yeah, they'll look at you and be nice to you and still special file your resume.
right.
At least down south, they gonna tell you, get on out of here. I ain't hiring your kind. And at least you know, you like, cool. I mean, I respect you standing on your opinion.
Hey, listen, I'd
Hey,
rather know who you are. Keep it a buck with me, then I know how to deal. You don't want
exactly.
me in your yard, I ain't coming over there then.
Exactly. I'm
And
gonna
don't
stay
come in
out
my
your
yard
yard.
either. You
But
dig what I'm
don't
saying?
invite me over in your yard. And as soon as something go down, you like, I ain't want him over here. You like,
Right,
yo, you could have told me from the jump, but I wouldn't have been in your yard in the first place. And by the way, you ain't season your meat. So there's that.
right.
But
But okay, so now let me ask you this question because you said something and then me and you had talked about it a little bit earlier. All right. So say for instance, there's a woman and she's got kids. How do you feel about that when a woman has a kid by a guy, but she refuses to give the guy uh to give the kids the guy's last name?
I think it's personally wrong. And a lot of it I've seen, it's a lot of ego stuff, but if you decide to have a kid with this man, um, why would you have a problem with the kid having his last name? If you just wanted to have a kid and then you wanted to corral this kid, then that should mean that you want to take it on by yourself. But don't get mad at this dude. And I gave you the example of, I had a buddy who had a kid, and the kid got to be, 4 or 5 years old, and the kid's mother got pissed off at the dude, and changed the son's first name. Now that's some bitterness right there. And like, why? Like, you gonna confuse your kid and I mean be disrespectful on that end? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm just like, I have to wonder about the motives, right? For you deciding to do that. because there is something that it does affect children when they have maybe different names than their siblings. Let's say he has kids somewhere else and they all have his last name, and now you
Right.
have your mom's last name, and you like, well, why? Why do I have that? What was behind that? And if I don't know, I just feel like I don't know that you should do that to a child if you were that confident enough to go through and have a kid by a dude. At one point you loved him, at one point you were okay, but now that you're on the outs, I mean, you're just looking for any way to hurt him. And I just think that's unnecessary because you are actually hurting the child, and it's not like immediate, but they got to go through school. They got to do all of this. They got to, I don't know. There's the questions. And even if they have siblings with, with the mother, all right, well, if you have all your kids named with your last name, then none of these kids have their father's last name. That's kind of a red flag. That would be a red flag for me. I'm like, huh? Like, nah, what you got going on? That would be a serious red flag for me. Like, I ain't with it. Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
agree.
Cuz
I agree
Cuz
with
says on
Lady.
some of that, some laws state that the father has to be there or present to sign. You dig what I'm saying? I've been
Mm,
down south. Yeah. And but yeah, so only reason why I asked you that is because I wanted to see what some of them would say. You dig what I'm saying about, the kids and then them having the father's last name. One person says unless there was a rape or an abuse, etc., and the father wasn't going to be in the child's life. Now let me ask you this though, G Nice. So what if it was a situation where it was a one night stand and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm pregnant by you. You dig what I'm saying? And you didn't mean to be pregnant by him. Dude don't want to be a part of the baby's life. Do you think she should give the kid the dude's last name?
at that point, I mean, if this was a sole decision on her point, knowing what it's gonna be,
Right,
then yeah, I think on that point that might be an exception. With it and do it. It's just to me, it doesn't make sense when people have it and then they are either still with the dude or they going back, playing backtracking
right,
on it. That doesn't make sense. If you still gonna have some dealings with them and the kid is gonna have dealings with them, I just think it's and especially if you're just falling out at that point. So you salty right at the time that you have the baby and you make a lifelong decision for the child.
right.
I don't.
Ladies,
I think that's wrong.
Ladies, somebody tap in and tell me what y'all feel. Benita
They
said the
are.
child should carry the father's last name. It's their birthright. Okay, you said it's a birthright. And one of the reasons why I think it stuck out to me though, G Nice, because that's like my situation. I got my father's first name and middle name, but I don't have his last name. You dig what I'm saying? So technically, I'm supposed to be a junior. You dig what I'm saying? And so sometimes me and him might be having conversations and stuff like that. I'll give you an example. When my uncle Dickie died, his older brother, and you're going to put people's name on the obituary, and it's just like me and him, we had been hanging out, we had been going to get suits and stuff together, so I'm hanging with him, I'm like, this is my man. So he going through it, he feeling it. His brother just left, so me and my brother, we wanted to ride with him, we cooking, we just everywhere, we was just hanging out together. And it was one of those moments where I just felt like, and I don't really know the situation on how my last name got changed, but I felt like man, like that's crazy. Okay, let me check something out. Replying to, okay, they still got the racism going. Listen, something, that's something that we can definitely, what I mean, do like a part two. But you know what? We definitely need help from like women. I put out
Absolutely.
a post and ask women because Katie, I appreciate you stepping up and talking, but I really want like, maybe a white lady and a black lady to come up and talk and talk about why is it that you see what you see in black men and only want to date black men, because you got black women that only date black men. And so
Mhm.
we could definitely keep that one going. But because the last name is their identity, so in a way a legacy, a lineage is being denied. And now that you said that though, Troy, that's really real, because I had a situation in my son, he has somebody else's last name, you know what I mean? And when I went and I hung out with him in Waterloo, you know what I mean? I dropped the ball on a situation that I got to point the finger at me on when it happened. It was a mix-up situation. It's too long to get into now, but as I see my dude and I see my grandkids, it's like it's one of them situations where we really wish that I would have had all of this together, because he got like he's my only son. You dig what I'm saying? He's my only son. And so, blood son. And so now he's got two sons. And so now I'm looking at these dudes. I'm seeing my father in them. I'm looking at this little girl and I'm like, these is me. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, man. And so, and but it's a real live issue. I just wanted to see where you was going with that earlier as we spoke about it. So,
No,
okay.
for sure. Yeah, it was definitely something that we need to talk about. I think this is something that, hey, it'll be a part two to this. I think it's good, but we would, yeah, like Bear said, let's get some women to jump on here with us, and not just take it on the comment section. Any
Okay.
y'all want to get on next week? You know what I'm saying? Just reach out to one of us and we'll get you the link
Yeah.
on it. And please come join us. We don't want this to be a one-sided thing. I mean, it's supposed to be inclusive for everybody to be able to speak their piece. I know you guys are going to have different opinions than we do because we can't have the opinions that you have because we can't speak from your perspective on that. So help us out and, don't make it so that you guys have to just type it out and try to voice your point that way. Get it out here to everybody.
Right. And somebody is on there and they says, I look at you both and I'm just proud. For some odd reason, I feel like that's Nikki. Nikki is in town, man. I just seen her. I was over there cutting Jetty's hair today. I had to line her up. They getting ready to go to St. Louis. I just got a feeling it's her. She stepped
Nikki
in the
who?
room with like Cribs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
Okay.
here. She was in town for the
All
weekend, man. They
right.
getting ready to go to St. Louis and stuff like that. So I kind of got to feel like that's her. Somebody else says racism has been around since what? Peter? Okay, so what? You talking about Peter from the Bible? So yes, it's issue in itself. It's more of a power trip, better than you. Okay.
It's more of a classist thing.
Somebody
And this,
said, "No, that's me." Me who? Who are you? Like, I don't
yeah,
know. Say your name. I don't know who you are. Unless it's Jada. The only other person saying I'm proud of you two is Jada. You know what I mean? She always comment on my post. I
look,
love my
look,
sister, man. Jada Lahada,
hey,
what's going down?
Lahada all day long. Let me see if I can
Probably
see
so.
who it is.
Can you see who it is?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. It's Lahada. It's
it's like
Lahada.
guy. I knew it. That was it. The only
We love
other
you too.
only other
Yeah,
person I could say. Man,
exactly.
many nights since we'd have slept over there on that
Oh
couch,
my
and
God, live there. Damn near
man
live
lived
there.
over there for
Hey, we
months.
had
Didn't go nowhere.
keys. We had keys. Be posted
Get in
up in
there
there. Damn near getting mail over there.
for real. That was the next step. But listen, um, so we'll do that though too. So then that
Yeah,
way we can mix it up, ladies. Because Benita, I really appreciate what you said. You know, and you too, Katie. Because I
for
mean,
sure.
we ain't gonna be able to figure this thing out unless everybody else, you know what I mean, speak up. And so some people don't feel comfortable putting their face on camera, and I can dig it. You dig what I'm saying? So if you do feel, I mean, we just gonna chop it up. So we're gonna make you feel comfortable. So you ain't even got to worry about that.
For
But
sure. But
tap in. She
Jada
said,
just brought
"Quick."
up the quilt.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I knew it. Hey, listen, we had our own blankets, did we? Everybody had their own quilt. Like you go
No,
to the car, like, don't get my
hey,
quilt. You know
no,
that quilt is
no.
my
With
quilt.
the quilt, no, when you spoke about quilt time, everybody knew what it was. Be like, give me that quilt.
Yep.
And Lala's like, my grandmother made that quilt.
All right.
Like, hey, straight up. We like, so? Nah, but
Okay. Yeah, yo, I know you would, but you at work. And so remember this too, y'all. On Monday, I'm doing mental health. G Nice. The last week of May on a Monday, I think me and you should tag team and talk about, our little issues. Cause then that way I can get a chance to walk back and kind of tell people everything that I was going through,
well,
how I hit rock bottom with the joint. Then we can talk. Cause I've been doing
well,
mental health Monday.
the last Monday though is gonna be Memorial Day.
Is it?
Yeah.
I did not know
So
that.
last Monday in May is always
But what are you gonna
Memorial
be
Day.
doing though?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I can't speak to it. I'm just saying, as far as people that are out there, people be
All right,
out
well let's
barbecues and stuff like that.
we might do it the fourth Monday then. We got to do it. If anybody else want to speak on mental health, man, please. Troy, you know what I would like to do? If we can get that guy that was at the remember when we did the nonprofit haircuts and we did the mental health thing? Local Los, you're so late,
Los.
bro. Man, we've been on here for a whole hour and like 15 minutes. Los, where you been? Okay, so K still say he's gonna be barbecuing. Yeah,
Yeah, see, people will be, but I mean, yeah, I mean, mental health is a huge thing. I mean, I do some work for some, mental health spots,
yeah,
and doing it as well as maintaining myself. I think we do, need to, even if we take that into June. Hey, there's no stop.
right,
There's no hard stop at the end of a month for what people have been going through or what they may need assistance with, or just encouragement to go
right,
and get assistance
right,
on it, and taking away the stigma. I mean, hiding from what you got going on is not being strong. That's
Right.
actually being
At
weak.
all.
That's not facing what your problems are, and finding somebody that could help you with them. And a lot of it, it is, self-medication, and that's what's been in our community. It's been the way that we've been taught. Boys don't cry,
Right.
buck up, man up, and all of that. So you're supposed to bottle all that, and that's how people get shot.
Right. And then another thing too, I want to say a shout out to Cola because she started it off. Soon as she hit, I got inbox. Man, she said something that touched my life. Nicole came back. Boom. She said something that touched on my life. I'm listening. I'm giving it to you real. People are inboxing me, telling me like, listen, the show was good. They said something that touched my heart. Next thing you know, here come my cousin Tasha, and then here come Christina. Same thing, inbox, and then people are saying you said something that they might not had the strength to say. So never be
Very good.
afraid to get up and tell what you're going through and how it helped you. You dig what I'm saying? And Benita, you're right. But in the black community, and like the Hispanic community too, we always got this thing over our head of saying well, we were saying, don't go tell nobody our business. You better not
Mhm.
go tell nobody your business. But when you struggling with something like that, you might need to go get you some help, and you might
Yeah.
need some meds or something that can help you get it back together. There was a guy that Troy had at the center that he was so dope when he was speaking, man. And he started talking about the community, and he went so hard that I would definitely like to get him. What did y'all say? But yeah, so G
Interesting.
Nice. I just think that me and you got to hit it, and then we got to talk about it because lately it's been all women. So if I don't find, I mean, even if I do find some men, I think it's going to be nice if we tag team it, and take out the time
For
and just
sure.
break it down on how we hit it. Because if you think about when we was on Seven Deuce and how we was living,
Mhm.
we never really looked at ourselves like we had an issue. But then when I slowed down and as I became a man and started growing up, I had some issues, bro. You dig what I'm
Well,
saying?
you can't see it if everybody around you got the same issues.
Right.
Everybody's normal at that point.
Yeah.
And everybody did. I mean, come on, man. The way we used to go at it, I'm talking, man. How you sit up and drink a 50 yourself a day, man? And that's what we was doing, and blow through an ounce of weed, and we did. But everybody is doing it. But everybody was dealing with their own thing, but weren't really ready to address it. So everybody felt like their behavior, their method of self medication was normal because everybody around you is doing it.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And you just feel like there's nothing wrong with me. And everybody around you, this the same thing is wrong with them.
Yeah. And then Benita's saying something like self-medicating. And
That's
a
what
lot of
yeah.
times,
was-
well, when you get to smoking weed and you drinking, only thing about it though, when you wake up, them problems are still in your face. They didn't go
Absolutely.
nowhere. And so now what you're gonna do, you got to go try to get higher and higher and higher. Next thing
Did
you know,
we
you're
ever
going
stop though? Did
never.
we ever
We
stop?
do we ever come down?
You
It's like
nope.
man,
You just run it
we
all the
just
way
started
through.
listen, buy a QP, sell enough to get the money back, but the rest of that is in the air. You dig what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And remember, we was smoking perfectos at that time. We
Oh
was
my
smoking like
God. At
man, we
one
was
point, I
doing
was
it.
a half ounce a day just by myself. Because that wasn't a real method of money anyway. It's just like you said, hey, on that tip, we just like, hey, just enough to support the habit to keep from having to pay for it.
K
Um,
Still, you can come up next week. K Still said he got a little bit of
yeah,
experience. Jump on here next
absolutely.
week. I'm looking for some more people, man. Inbox me
Mhm.
and let me know what y'all want to do. But go ahead. Nice.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that we would go so hard, man. I mean, we didn't even sleep for 2 days sometimes,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
jump right back up and get in it. Be standing at that gas station at 6 a.m. As soon as they start selling 5:58, we standing
Mm-hmm.
there waiting to get in line.
Yep.
And
To
at
get that
6
ice
a.m.,
house.
everybody else getting their coffee and their donuts. Nope, we going back to continue the last 2 days.
Right.
But that's what everybody was doing. Anywhere you can go because people would rather pass out
Right.
than
Look, Jada said we had no direction. Ain't that the truth?
absolutely not.
None.
She dead ass with that. No
Yeah,
direct
Benita.
direction.
We got to have these conversations. But yeah, I finally made it a little bit to the studio like earlier this week, and I got like a I'm doing something for the church. I'm gonna perform this little song that I got Saturday. So if y'all be watching my page, I'm probably gonna live stream it too from my page. But G Nice, I got this one guy that I'm trying to manage him, and I just want to see if you want in. Check out a little bit of his stuff.
All right. Hey, he's spitting. Hey, he over there spitting, man. I felt that. Like, yo,
Hey, who is this guy?
sometimes less is more, man. Sometimes less
Hey,
is more.
listen, hey, I do not know who that dude is, man, but listen to
It's
me.
like the Sass Factory, man. It's open to interpretation, right? Whatever his lyrics meant, that was up for you to decide. He was not trying to dictate to you how you should feel about his song. You just take away from it. I mean, like that second, you know what? That rang bells with me right there.
Hey,
I identify with that.
Loco Low said that's right up your alley. Like you can manage him. Like I'm gonna put him in the
Hey,
car with you.
hey, let's get his ass on Spotify ASAP. And we're gonna do numbers. We're gonna do numbers on Spotify with that dude.
Oh,
We need a remix.
oh,
We need a remix with the dude that did "Why Must I Cry."
oh, man.
We need to get
Yeah.
them in the booth and have them trade off some lyrics on that. I'm telling you, we got a hot extended
Let's
remix right there,
I don't know what his problem is, bro, but
man. Hey,
whoever recorded that in the studio and whoever took out the time to make the video, I'm like,
man.
man,
Now, why you disrespecting his art?
listen, I felt like there was so many different things that could have happened with that money, and they already over there. They could have built a well or something. They could have been digging water
Hey,
for all of
hey,
that, man.
look, he just got some free pub from you.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'm bumping him.
we,
Hey, the
hey,
whole
we
summer
gotta
they said that's the song of the summer. I'm bumping him.
we gotta remember, Doja Cat's first thing was "Moo." She
Oh
said,
yeah,
"Bitch, I'm a cow."
right.
That was
But
the whole
listen,
song, and look where she is.
yeah, Doja blew up though.
Yes, she
But
did.
I'm on my way to the gym, big dog. And so,
Yes, let's end
man,
it. Let's wrap this up. But
let's
this
wrap
is
this up. I gotta
this
go
has
get
been a
some meat.
very productive conversation. Everybody that stopped in to holler at us, man, much
But yeah,
appreciated.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Benita, Katie, Denise, yo, Tracy, everybody, Jada, everybody, CG, y'all. Hey, listen, man, we need y'all. We need y'all to show up, pull up,
Mhm.
and so we can send y'all the link so y'all can pop up on here, man. Okay, local Los, love you, fam.
All right,
Los,
for
yep, I,
sure.
I I hit the studio, so I got a little something for you to hear. We're gonna get together. All right, but listen, man, I love you. G Nice don't. You dig what I'm
Mm-mm,
saying? I don't know what he gonna do. Is you gonna ever
mm-mm,
change? You don't love the
mm-mm.
people? All right, I love
Yeah.
you. Bear Truth, G Nice, ball head nuts. We